It is Monday, January the 20th, and we have new rules for obtaining the Compostela after you finish your Camino. More after this. So over the Christmas break, we had an issue on a thread on the forum where people have seen a video interview on YouTube from someone at the Pilgrim's office explaining the rules for getting your Compostela. And there was some confusion because what was mentioned in the interview was not what the rules has traditionally been. So there's a little bit of confusion going on. And I also checked, if you check I'll put this up on the screen, the credential that we have been sending out for the last few months, that of course is made by the cathedral in Santiago, has the rules for obtaining the Compostela in it. It's in Spanish, but it's pretty clear. And here what it says is requirements to receive the Compostela. To do the pilgrimage by foot or horse, have done 100 kilometers. That's what the rules say currently on the credential. And traditionally, of course, you would have had to have done the last 100 kilometers to obtain the Compostela, and now it just says you have to have walked 100 kilometers. So that's new, right? So I was not sure about it, so I went down to the Pilgrim's office. I was just down there, talked to a person that was sitting behind the desk. He was not a volunteer, but I think he's one of the people that is working there permanently. And he explained to me that yes, this year there's new rules, and the new rules are as follows. To obtain the Compostela by foot, you need to have walked 100 kilometers. So, for example, let's say you start in Saint-Jean and you walk 100 kilometers or more, and you get an injury, and you can then jump ahead, not all the way to Santiago. You need to have walked the last stage into Santiago as well. So now, to get the Compostela, you need to have walked 100 kilometers and the last stage into Santiago. That's the new rule. So you don't have to start in Sarria. If you want to walk 100 kilometers to get the Compostela, you don't have to start in Sarria. You can do 100 kilometers before Sarria, move ahead to Opino or just around the airport in Santiago where the last stage starts, and walk from there and in, and you qualify for the Compostela. So that's the new rule if you're walking. Of course, before you would have to have done the last 100 kilometers, which means a lot of people started in Sarria. That is no longer the case. You must have done a total of 100 kilometers and the last stage into Santiago. So if it's on the Frances, it will be from Opino more or less. If it's on the other routes, just the last day into Santiago, and that's it. This, of course, is good for those that have, for example, gotten an injury. Maybe you have walked 200, 300, 400 kilometers. You got an injury and you couldn't finish. Earlier, you couldn't have gotten the Compostela this way if you can have done the last 100 kilometers. Now, if you can do the last stage and you've done more than 100 kilometers before that, you're good. So that's one new rule. And then I asked, because it says here, for the people that are biking, you must have done at least 200 kilometers, excluding electric bikes. So I'll put that up there as well on the screen. So this means, so I asked the person at the Pilgrim's office, does that mean that you are not giving Compostelas for people that have used electric bikes? And he said, yes, this is true. Are they going to go out and check if your bike has an electric motor or not? Probably not. So then if you do the Camino with an electric bike and would like a Compostela, you would be prepared for the question, did your bike have an electric motor? And then if you say yes, you will not get the Compostela. If you say no, maybe you probably will get it. So it's up to you then if to figure out what your conscience says about that. So that's the two main new rules as far as I've understood that has been updated for this year. I think overall it's a good thing, because it means Sarria doesn't need to be the default starting point on the Frances if you want the Compostela, if that's important for you. You could do 100 kilometers before Sarria, somewhere, whenever stretch you prefer, and then jump ahead to where the last stage before Santiago starts, and then walk into Santiago, and you qualify. Remember to collect stamps still, but those are the new rules, as just confirmed by talking to the people at the Pilgrim's office. So that's it. If you have any questions, maybe I was not clear on anything, please ask me in the comments or get in touch, and I'll try and respond as best as I can. All right, with that, have a good day. Ciao, ciao.